And a good morning here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We're back in the studios. We were out in Buffalo in our Travel Great Lakes Honda City studios, and now we're home in the digs that you know, coming from Buffalo and hanging out at the USCAA Division I men's basketball tournament with your Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse men's basketball team. Had a great experience. Had the opportunity to speak with numerous student athletes, as well as the coaching staff and the leadership of Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse. So I want to thank everyone on the team. I want to thank everyone that helps out, the staff, the campus director, Mary Hawkins, the athletics director, Brooke Paro, the head coach, Clay Gagan Sherman, and then, of course, assistant coaches, Coach X and Nolan Cass, and to everybody that was on the show and everybody on the team in general, to our All-Americans, to our academic All-Americans. A fantastic time for me to be with Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse and to bring you that exclusive partnership in a way that we have never done it, and to be a part of it all, to be on the sidelines with the team, to be on the team bus, to be in the team practices, to be in the team meetings. It truly gave me something that, it fulfilled, like my dad said last night, it fulfilled a bucket list thing that I didn't even know I had. I got recruited NCAA Division III. I got one phone call. It was from Marywood University, and I chose not to play at the time. And then it started my broadcasting career. And so to look back on that moment and to be where I am now and be able to do shoot around and be on the team bus and staying in the team hotel and wearing the team gear and being on the sideline with the guys and being in the huddle and all that stuff, made me feel like a coach, made me feel like a player, and definitely gave me that college experience that I didn't think I would ever have. So God works in very purposeful ways, and there is some mystery to it, but it's quite amazing. So I want to thank God for an experience that is going to take some time for my brain to kind of just unpack and think about all of it, because it was such a incredible blessing, and I know we're just getting started, and I'm really proud of the teams at Bryan and Stratton. With that being said, inside of MomandPopsPopcorn.com is what's popping. It's a Thursday, so Papa Joe is joining me. Of course, another father to me in my life. We call him PJ, the Go-So, the grand old smooth one, and we're very happy to have Papa Joe on the show, the guru of baseball, the Diamond Don. That's a new one I just created. So we got
I like that one.
we got PJ on the show today. I might stick with that, the Diamond Don, and he is picture in picture with me. We are with you up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both / Wake Up Call DT, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. And we are here to continue the preparation for the 2025 Major League Baseball season. We have given you our analysis of every single team in the NL West, the NL Central, and the NL East. And now we go to the AL. And in this broadcast today, within our 2-hour window, we will bring you the other 15 franchises of Major League Baseball. AL West is where we will start, then the Central, then the East, and then each of these will be broken down into broadcasts that you can go back and watch that you go back and listen to, and they will be broken down directly by division. We've already started it on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. So if you want to hear about your team, you can go to that divisional broadcast and listen to it. So we'll be breaking down the show into those pieces so that all 6 divisions will have their own show and make it easier for you to get to the information, additions and subtractions, and what these teams look like stepping forward. So PJ, good morning. I hope you're doing well. What's the temperature like down there?
Actually, it was a little chilly last night. It was in the low 50s, but it'll be in the mid 70s today. Love it.
See, mid-70s.
You need a little sun, bro.
I know. Mid-70s during the day. Mid-70s during the day, 60-something at night. That's my jam. That's my sweatshirt. That's my t-shirt, shorts during the day, t-shirt, sweatshirt, shorts during the night. It is my favorite time of year when it comes to like the temperature wise. So I got to get my butt down there. But with the temperature that we're talking about, give me a temp, PJ, for where we're at right now with the AL West, because that's where we're going to start. Where do you want to start, and where's the temp at for some of these teams? Are they
Well,
heating up? They cooling down?
I'm going to start with the Rangers.
Okay.
I just have to say that they're going through every team is going through their wherewithal. They have dozens of players that are playing in the Hostode League, which is just exhibitions, and there's so many players that are revolving that sometimes you hear about a real good player coming up, or sometimes you hear about a bad player that's not doing so well, and they're booting them out. But what I do is what I did with the National League is I describe what the team did last year, and then what they're doing this year before I go into another team. Mm-hmm. So let's start with the Rangers. And last year they had a 78-84 record. Certainly not their standard. They're much, much, much better than that. Corey Seager hit 30 home runs, 74 RBIs, and hit 278. Monumental. He was hurt for a while, too. So I got Adolis Garcia, hit 25 homers, 86 RBIs, and hit 224. Marcus Seaman, the other guy that makes the Rangers go, 23 homers, 74 RBIs, hit 237. And Wyatt Langford should have been a Rookie of the Year. He had such a big year. 16 homers, 74 RBIs, only hit 253. Then you got Nat Lowe, 16 homers, 67 RBIs, and hit 265. Now, those don't seem like they're a lot, but they do when you put it together. Corey Seager and Marcus Seaman sets the table for the rest of the guys. They're the keys. And not only that, they can both hit home runs, too, so extremely valuable at the top of the lineup. When we start analyzing the teams after they break, after the Hot Stove League, then we'll see where they are with the lineup. I'm sure they're going to be 1 and 2. Pitching-wise, Nate Eovaldi was 12-8 with a 3.80 ERA. Mm-hmm. And Andy Heaney was 5-14, 4.28 ERA. Didn't too good to Andy, not at all. Dave Robertson, 3-4, 3.00 ERA. Jose Leclerc, 6-5, 4.32 ERA. And their closer is Kirby Yates, 7-2, 1.17 ERA, 33 staves. Now, just for me describing that right there, the pitching did not come up at all. They couldn't get anyone out. Now, Kirby or Yates is a hell of a closer, but you got to be able to be leading the games before you get this guy in here. Yeah. So anyway, what I do now is if I get the right screen up. What I do now is we see where the Rangers are as we speak. They still have 2 free agents left on the roster. Third baseman Matt Duffy and right-handed pitcher David Robertson. I think they need Robertson to sign. So if they do that, fine. If not, he's still a free agent. Yeah. Let's see what they acquired. They re-signed Nathan Eovaldi on a 3-year deal, right-handed pitcher, who I just talked about. He's their ace. Everything revolves around him. Eovaldi, I like that. Then we got Jock Pederson. They signed as a DH, a 2-year deal. Now, Jock used to be with your boys, the Zona, last year. Yeah. They signed third baseman, first baseman Jake Berger, trade with the Marlins. They signed Kyle Higashioka, a 2-year deal, re-signed him. Right-handed pitcher Chris Martin, they signed on a 1-year deal. Right-handed pitcher Jacob Webb on a 1-year deal. Left-handed pitcher Hobie Milner on a 1-year deal. Right-handed pitcher Sean Armstrong, 1-year deal. Right-handed pitcher Luke Jackson, a 1-year deal. A left-handed pitcher Robert Garcia got with the trade with the Nationals. Right-hand pitcher Luis Cervallo, 1-year deal. And Kevin Pillar, they signed as the major league bottom level. That doesn't seem like a lot, but I'll explain it to you when I'm done. Yeah. The subtractions. Now, these are the guys that they've lost. First baseman Nathaniel Lowe, they got a trade with the Nationals. Catcher Carson Kelly from the Cubs, who went to the Cubs. Right-handed pitcher Grant Anderson, trade with the Brewers. Right-handed pitcher Jose Leclerc, Athletics. Right-handed pitcher Kirby Yates, Dodgers. Now you see what's happening to their pitching staff. They're giving it away. Right-handed pitcher Max Scherzer went to the Blue Jays. Going to be a future Hall of Famer. Left-handed pitcher Andrew Haney went to the Pirates. Left-handed pitcher Andrew Chafin to the Tigers. Right-handed pitcher Jose Urena to the Mets. Now, they've given away half their pitching staff.
Yeah.
Not signing Yates is going to hurt them an awful lot. You have to have a closer. You have to have someone that can shut the door. The Rangers, I've always liked the Rangers because they're aggressive when Ron Washington was there. Now, they still have Corey Seager and Marcus Semien at the top of the lineup. I think they're going to score a lot of runs. Pitching's going to be the key. Pitching's the key all the time, Daniel. It's pitching and defense forever. I mean, I can harp on that. I'll probably be harping on it all summer long.
Well, yeah.
All right.
No, what I was going to say was, so, they've made all these moves, but you said they got rid of a lot of their pitchers. So where do you think that puts the Rangers? I mean, this was a team that kind of crashed out last season, right? They didn't make it. Well, not kind of crashed out. I mean, they crashed out. It was crazy. You look back historically at Major League Baseball, and I did it with Murph. We were going and looking at things, and how many times do we see the two teams that made the World Series a year before each not even make the playoffs the following year?
That's right.
And
That's right.
The Rangers were one of those teams. They won the World Series. They played against the Diamondbacks, and then the Rangers didn't even make it to the postseason. So with the moves that they made, with the hitting that you talk about, Wyatt Langford and Seager and whatnot, with the hitting that they have and the moves that they've made and the pitchers that they lost, if they didn't make the playoffs last year, do you think this team is worse off than last year, or do you think they're better than last year? Do you like anything that they did? Like, where do you think this team is? Because they need to bounce back this year, but it sounds like they've lost a lot. So where are they at?
They're not going to bounce back with this lineup. That I can tell you. But they do. It revolves around Semien and Seager setting the table for the big bopper Garcia. Let's review something real quick. They lose Anderson, right-handed pitcher Leclerc, right-handed pitcher Kirby Yates is their closer, right-handed pitcher Max Scherzer, left-handed pitcher Haney, left-handed pitcher Andrew Chisholm. They lost those guys. Now they add these guys, Chris Martin on a one-year deal, Jacob Webb 1 year, Hobie Miller 1 year, Sean Armstrong 1 year, and Luke Jackson 1 year. They're just giving these guys a taxi ride. These guys right here, they're only signing for 1 year deal. If they turn out, fine. If not, they're in for a world of hurt. As I say, usually they're hurting Gators, and they are. So, all right, I'll go to Seattle.
Yeah.
Which is next. Okay, Seattle last year was 85 and 77. Very good ball club. They were led by Cal Raleigh, hit 34 homers, 100 RBIs, but only hit 220. Luke Raley, 22 homers, 58 RBIs, he only hit 243. Julio Rodriguez, 20 homers, 68 RBIs, hit 273. Jorge Polanco, 16 homers, 43 RBIs, 213. Mitch Garner, 15 homers, 51 RBIs, only hit 172. Now, folks, that's last year's. That's awful. I mean, they're down in the area where the Angels are. For pitching, Logan Gilbert was 9 and 12 for a 3.23 ERA. George Kirby, 14 and 11, 3.53 ERA. Luis Castillo, 11 and 12, 3.64 ERA. Bryce Miller, 12 and 8, 2.94 ERA. And Andrew Munoz, 3 and 7, 2.12 ERA, He had 22 saves. So you can see where we're going with this.
Yeah.
The Angels are not hitting, but they sure are pitching. They led last year. They led most of the summer as the best pitching staff in the American League. Let's see where they are this year. They have no free agents left on their roster. So let's see who they picked up. They picked up infielder Donovan Solano on a 1-year deal. They picked up infielder, outfielder Miles Mastrobuoni, trade with the Cubs, and second baseman Jorge Malanco re-signed. Now, you would think that with a good pitching staff that they will go after some hitting. Yeah. This is nothing. The three guys that they've signed are not going to amount to much. Now the subtractions. Right-handed pitcher Yimi Garcia went to the Blue Jays. Third baseman Josh Rojas went to the White Sox. Third baseman Luis Urias to the Athletics. And first baseman Justin Turner to the Cubs. Now, Justin Turner's a big loss. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer. But he's 40 years old, and he's let him play for the Cubs. And last year, he didn't do what he was supposed to be doing with Seattle. And this team, the way they're going right now. Now, I'm not going into any of the spring training records because it's not worth it because they play so many guys. Yeah. They're a revolving door. This team right now, Daniel, if you would ask me right now, they certainly won't approach last year's 85-77 record. They can't. Not with the hitting they got. Now, pitching is a different story, but, they lose. They don't lose much. They don't gain much. They just, they're blah. They're not going anywhere.
Well, and speaking on the Angels, I mean, we go back to a wild statistic that Mike Trout, there for so many years, obviously, and only went to the playoffs one time. Shohei Ohtani comes in all the years that Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout played together, both fighting for, the MVP, and they're on the same team. It's not who's the MVP of the Angels, it's who's the MVP of the Angels that becomes the MVP of the league. And they don't make the playoffs once together. So when you look at the Angels right now and where they're at, it's like you said, pitching is great, right? But they couldn't figure out how they couldn't figure out how to win together when they were having two of the best hitters in baseball and one of the best pitchers in baseball. They couldn't figure out how to win, how to get it done. And so now we look at Mike Trout and we say, here's Mike Trout, and he's still on the team. He's still an Angel. He doesn't have Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani stayed in LA, and in the first year that he was with the Dodgers, even though he didn't play great in the World Series, they won the World Series. So, I mean, this Angels team, you talk about pitching, right? Pitching and defense is so important and it's so vital. But the question becomes, is Mike Trout healthy? Is Mike Trout going to sustain an entire season? And then where's the help? Because if you have the defense and you have the pitching and you have Mike Trout, y'all made the playoffs one time like that. And Mike obviously needs help, but it's this weird conundrum, and I don't know if you could figure it out, PJ, but it's like, how did a franchise with Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout we're not talking about they didn't win the World Series, they didn't go to the playoffs ever with the two of them on the same team. So where do we go from here? If they have good pitching, they don't have Shohei. Mike's only made the playoffs one time in umpteen years. Like, how do we solve the problem of the Angels?
Well, let's go right into the Angels then, if we want to do that.
Yeah.
Last year, they were 63-99. Just to talk about what you mentioned earlier. That was a terrible team, a terrible record. The Angels hitting-wise, they were led by Taylor Ward, 25 homers, 75 RBIs, hit 246. Zach Neto, 23 homers, 77 RBIs, only hit 249. Joe Adell, 20 homers, 62 RBIs, 207. Now, Joe Adell, 3 years ago, was supposed to be the second coming of Ricky Henderson. He's not hit. And I don't know what's happening to him. I don't know if it's eyesight or he just can't hit curveballs or whatever. But he is not doing very well, even as I speak on the exhibitions. Logan O'Hoppe, 20 homers, 56 RBIs. Nick Moniak, 14 homers, 49 RBIs. Only hit 219. That you're right, Daniel. They're not going to go anywhere with the hitting. Pitching wise, let's see. Remember, they lost 99 games last year, and they're so poor last year that they're eligible to lose 100. Pitching wise, they had Tyler Anderson, 10-15 with a 3.81 ERA. Yeah. He was the ace at only 10-15. Griffin Camilio, 6-13, 5.19 ERA. Reed Detmers, 4-9, 6.10 ERA. Jorge Solano, 6-7, 3.42 ERA. And Ben Joyce was their closer. He was 2-0 with a 2.08 ERA with 2 saves. Now, as Mary says, none of these numbers are going to blow your skirt up. That's for sure. But let's see, after I expounded about that, let's see where they are this year. They have no free agents left on their roster. This is what they've acquired. Left-handed pitcher Yusel Kikuchi, a 3-year deal. He's the real deal. Outfielder Jorge Soler, trade with the Braves. They acquired right-handed pitcher Kenley Jansen, 1-year deal. Kenley Jansen has been a closer in this league for 15 years, has an outside shot of making the Hall of Fame, but he's at the tail end of his career, but can still get some guys out. They required Travis Arnaud in a 2-year deal. Right-handed pitcher Kyle Hendricks in a 1-year deal. Used to be with the Cubs. Can't break a pane of glass. He throws so slow. That third baseman Juan Mercado, a 1-year deal. Infielder Kevin Newman on a 1-year deal. Third baseman J.D. Davis got the minor league deal. And shortstop Tim Emerson on a major league deal. Now, there's one person on this that I'm mentioning here now that could really help turn the Angels around, and that's Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson was the most valuable player with the White Sox several years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. He's an extraordinary player. The year after he won that, he won a batting crown also. He couldn't hit anything. So they shipped him off to the Miami, and he did nothing with Miami. Now he's sour. He doesn't want to talk to anyone, doesn't want to do it. A little bit of an attitude problem. But he talks to his guru. I'm sure that he's gotten his head in the right position. And he'd be a tremendous asset to the Angels if he plays to his capabilities. I think this is a major move that really can help them. Now let's talk about the subtractions they've lost. They lost left-handed pitcher Patrick Sandoval to the Red Sox. They lost right-handed pitcher Griffin Channing to the Braves. Catcher Matt Theus to trade with the Cubs, later traded to the White Sox. They lost infielder Eric Wegman from the Marlins. They lost left-handed pitcher Matt Moore to the Red Sox. And outfielder Kevin Pillar for the Rangers. Kevin Pillar is an all-around player. Going to do the Rangers a lot of good. He's also at the end of his career. The guys that they've acquired versus the ones that they've lost give me some type of credence that the Angels can possibly out of their doldrums and perhaps maybe play baseball. Now, Mike Trout supposedly, this is what I'm hearing and reading, is the best he's looked in 5 years. He's playing well during the Grapefruit League. He's not playing every day, obviously. Yeah. He's also being moved to right field, not from center field. Now, they did that for 2 reasons. Well, actually, the main reason, to save his legs. Yeah. Trout is 32 years old now. He's a 3-time MVP in this league. Yeah. He is a future Hall of Famer, period. He doesn't have to do anything more. Now, what's going to happen without Ohtani around and the rest of these guys, especially if Adele doesn't wake up? They're going to pitch around him. He's going to wind up probably with 100 walks. I want to see Mike Trout play baseball. I want to see him run the bases. I want to see him run down fly balls in right field. I want to see him throw guys out at the plate. I want to see Mike Trout play baseball. That's all I'm interested in it.
Well, and two things I want to address. So, seeing like we talked about, just Mike Trout and what can he be? We want to see him on the field. It's better for baseball to see him on the field, and it's unfortunate that this guy has gone through so much. I think about him. I think about Steven Strasburg, who came through Syracuse, and Syracuse used to be the Nationals farm team, and they were the Syracuse Chiefs and not the Syracuse Mets. And we got to see these guys like Steven Strasburg and Bryce Harper. And Bryce Harper's obviously having an amazing time and an amazing career. But Strasburg, he stopped playing, and Mike Trout, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see the game be taken away from Mike. I want Mike to dictate it. I want Mike to have a resurgence. I want to see, another 2 years of Mike Trout, maybe 3 years of Mike Trout. But I want to see healthy Mike Trout out there doing his thing, playing his game, loving his life. And, because I want to see people win. And I love seeing that. I love seeing people do well. I love seeing people be healthy, be well. It's not all about one of us. It's about all of us. And, Mike Trout's one of those guys that I feel for him, because he's just somebody that you love watching play. And PJ, you love him. And it's just frustrating. It's really frustrating to go through this. Now, he's in a position change to hopefully preserve this health that we keep talking about. And so Mike Trout announced that he's switching positions this year. And so he made the statement, quote, kind of just threw everything on the table, as in what's best for me body-wise to keep me on the field, and came to the conclusion that I'm going to go to right field. I like it, try it out, see where it goes, end quote. So he has been a career center fielder since his major league debut with the Angels in 2011, and he's played right field just 17 times. So he's going to be moving to right field from center field. They're going to see how it goes, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it. I want to make two notes here. Number one, that you were talking about the Mariners, and I jumped right to the Angels. So any final notes about the Mariners that you'd like to make, or anything that makes you believe that they could win this division? So Mariners, can they win the division? That's one. And then two, thoughts on Mike Trout moving to right field.
The Mariners have an outside shot of winning the division, but they do it going to just because of pitching. They still need hitting. They're still evaluating their players that are coming through the minor league system. As I described earlier, all of these teams have 50, 60 guys on their teams right now because it's a revolving door. The managers are looking for something to help them. And that's definitely what the Angels need. It's someone to help them. Even if it's a big luggy guy can hit 30 homers and 80 RBIs or something like that, play a good first base. They just need a few of their signees or rookies to come through.
Yeah.
Seattle, the same position. Let's go to the Athletics. Oh, wait a minute. You asked me about Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Mike Trout has always been a center fielder. He's run down everything that I've ever seen him play. Look at Mary bought me MLB baseball 5 years ago for me to watch Mike Trout play baseball from the West Coast.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wait up till 10 o'clock at night and wait for these games if they're on ESPN or something like that. I wanted to see Mike Trout play baseball, and I did. But unfortunately, the years that I had, I still have it.
Yeah.
He's not in the lineup at all. And you've touched on this several times, that he just is not consistent.
Yeah.
And his body breaks down. I mean, look, this guy's a middle linebacker. He's 6'3", 225.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a guy that size who could run that fast and hit that shouldn't be able to break down like this. So I don't know what's going on with his body. But anyway, the powers that be got together and they say, Mike, we think that if you move to right field, we can save your legs a little bit. You don't have to leg around trying to catch fly balls off the wall and things like that. You play the line, you play the right field line, you play up against the right field stands, and you make catches and you throw guys out.
Yeah.
You don't have to run around that much. If to pop up in the infield, let the second baseman go out there and get the pop up. They don't want him to run that much, but they don't want him to run that much, but they want him to run that much when he's on offense. So this is risky. This is risky because, frankly, anyone who's worth a salt that plays center fielder is sort of like a five-tool player. They run, they hit for average, home runs, steal bases. That's a five-tool player. Mike Trout was a five-tool player for 10 years. Now he's not. In order for him to get back, he needs to do that. He needs to do that, and his load will be lessened because he's playing in right field. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, hopefully it works, right? Hopefully it works out for him. Hopefully it's comfortable for him. Hopefully, I mean, he's only played it 17 times, like I just mentioned here. So the hope is that he could catch on quick, and things will work out. That's what we're looking to. But more than anything else, just seeing him on the field, seeing him healthy, and that's what we're looking for. We want to see Mike Trout. It's good for baseball. You said that here in the AL West, you now want to shift gears to the Oakland A's. In your conversation about transactions with other teams, you've mentioned a bunch of players that have gone to the Oakland A's. So as you describe this team, I'm interested in hearing what you think of these acquisitions, because you have made mention of teams that are losing players, and more than once they're losing them to the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's are supposed to be leaving Oakland. They're supposed to be going to Vegas. They are supposed to be playing in a stadium that's not a Major League Baseball stadium. Then there's not a stadium built in Las Vegas yet, and it's 2028. None of this stuff makes any sense. Who knows what's going on with the Oakland A's? However, it seems like there are players that are going to them and want to play there. So I'd love to get your take on the Oakland A's and what this could mean, having already kind of alluded to the fact that they're gaining people.
Okay. Well, okay, let me preface this by saying they're a terrible team. They were awful last year. They were 69-95. They had 95 losses. And quite frankly, they're probably going to have over 100 losses this year. So let's talk about who did what last year, and then I'll jump into this year. Brent Rookies was 39 homers, 112 RBIs. This kid blossomed. I didn't know anything about him. I had to look him up. He hit 293. This kid could lead the team. Shea Langelinas, 29 homers, 80 RBIs, hit 224. Laura Butler hit 22 homers, 57 RBIs, hit 262. J.J. Bledsoe, 20 homers, 60 RBIs, hit 243. And Zach Gallen, 17 homers, 49 RBIs, hit 211. All of these guys here, with the exception of rookie Brent, can't hit the weight of a paper bag. And they're not going to go anywhere with these guys. Let's go into pitching, and then we'll go into acquisitions. J.P. Sears was 11-13 with a 4.38 ERA. Mitch Spence, 8-10, 4.58 ERA. Joey Ersatz, 7-9, 5.01 ERA. Ty Ferguson, 4-2, 3.68 ERA. They had a closer, which is Mason Miller. He was 2-2, 2.49 ERA, had 28 saves. There you go right there with the four guys that I just mentioned above Miller. Average, maybe 5 runs a game. Can't win in this league. Can't win in baseball. You can't win in the minor leagues when you've got pitching like this. Let's take a look at what they got. They have one free agent left on their roster, next left-handed pitcher, Alex Wood. Now, if they were smart, they would sign this guy. Anytime you've got a left-handed pitcher that's floating around out there, they're worth taking. Their acquisitions, right-handed pitcher Luis Severino, 2-year deal. Well, Severino has been with the Yankees. He's been with the Phillies. And I don't know why he's being recycled like this, because he's a dominant pitcher.
Yeah.
I think that is a major, major part of their pitching staff right now. They got left-handed pitcher Jeffrey Springs in trade with the Rays. Third baseman Gio Urshela, 1-year deal. He used to be with the Yankees. Right-handed pitcher Jose Leclerc, 1-year deal. Third baseman Luis Arias, a 1-year deal. Left-handed pitcher T.J. McFarland, they re-signed him on a 1-year deal. Now, those guys right there, 4 of them are 1-year deals. Where are they going with them? Urshela, still, I'm waiting for him to be the kind of player he was with the Yankees. Don't know why. Two subtractions. Left-handed pitcher Scott Alexander went to the Rockies. Right-handed pitcher Ross Stripling went to the Royals. Now, based on what we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
and the other teams in the league, and based on what I've seen right here and what I described last year, they're going to lose more than 100 games. This isn't going to work. They need hitting, they need pitching, and what do? They just they go 1, 2, 3, 4-year guy. Four of the guys I mentioned, acquisitions, are on 1-year deals. You give these guys a cup of coffee on a 1-year deal, and if they don't work out, you throw them out and try again. This is why minor leagues are so important to teams in the major leagues. They have to develop players in the minor leagues to give them a chance. Now, the A's have got some guys that are coming up. They're playing well in the Grapefruit League. Together and say, hey, I like this kid the way he's playing. Let's leave him on the roster for the start the season. I don't like this guy. We'll go down to Double-A, let him work on something, and bring him back.
Yeah.
This is the time for them to evaluate, and they just don't have anything right now to be competitive. This is a terrible team right now, Daniel, the way they're sitting.
Well, I mean, and again, to go back to the point of, like, what's the plan? You know, the Oakland A's, it seems like they have no idea what they're doing with their franchise. Like, internally, externally, like, where are you playing? What are you doing? I mean, they're allegedly going to be playing in a ballpark that I think is a AAA ballpark, a farm team ballpark that's an hour away from Oakland. So you're telling your fans, we're leaving Oakland, but we want you to keep supporting us. And in order to support us, you have to drive an hour away. And then we're going to go to Vegas, but then Vegas doesn't have a stadium. So what's your selling point? If you're the manager of the Oakland A's or you're the owner of the Oakland A's and it's like, we can lose 100 games a year. It doesn't seem like we have any nucleus of this team. We don't know when we're going to be in Vegas and when we're not going to be in Vegas. We have to get out of Oakland. We're going to play in a AAA ballpark. I mean, when you put all this, how do you sell it? Like, when you package together who Oakland is on the field, regardless of their future, and you say we're not winning, and then you're not attracting top talent there, and then you don't know where there is there because it's not Oakland there, and it's an hour away there, and it's supposed to be Vegas. How do you sell that? How do you sell where they're at as a franchise on the field and off the field when their future's in flux, their team loses 100 games? Like, how do you sell that?
Well, I can answer that this way. You sell it to the kids that are coming up. You're saying, listen, we're not a very good team right now, but you've played well during the exhibition season. We're going to put you on the roster. They're going to talk up to a lot of kids like that. They're going to say, look, you're going to be in the major leagues. Oh, okay, you're going to be with the Athletics, but you're going to be playing in the major leagues. That's how you sell it to these kids. You're not going to get anyone to come into. You're going to bring him up, and you're going to see how well he's going to do against major league pitching. The sell is you're going to a major league franchise, albeit a poor one. You're going to a major league franchise.
But you look at. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
You have something else?
No, I was just going to make a note of, like, we look back, we're not too far removed from a 9-year period where the Oakland A's made the playoffs 6 out of 9 years from 2012 through 2020, where they went to the ALDS 3 times, and then they lost in the wild card the other 3 times, but they made it to the postseason 6 out of 9 years. And then in the last 4 years, they've gone 86-76, didn't make the playoffs. Then they went 60-102, 50-112, and then 69-93 this past season. So, like, PJ, what happened? I mean, what's going on? Is this just people running out of there? Is it they had the talent like the Angels? I'm not saying they had Shohei and Mike Trout, but is it a question of they have the talent and they're just not figuring out what to do with it? Or is it that they don't have it, they lost guys, there was a fire sale? Because you make the playoffs 6 out of 9 years, you make it to the divisional round three times in those 6 years, or those, three times in those 9 years. When we look at making the postseason 6 out of 9 years, and then 3 of those times they make it to the divisional round, so they made it past that first round. And now in the last 4 years, you're dancing in the last 3 of 4 years with 100 losses, 102, 112, 93. Like that's consistent losing. That's not, we had a bad year. This is consistency. So, I mean, what is it? Is it that they had the talent and they lost it, or did they not have the talent? I mean, where are we at?
They had some talent years ago, and they've lost it, of course. But Oakland, or I should say Las Vegas, they're not going to be able to do anything until they're stabilized. Once they're stabilized, and they'll be able to call up a guy and say, listen, we can offer you $20 million a year for 3 years to play first base for us. And a lot of guys will jump on that. Except, I don't want to go to Oakland. I don't want to go to Las Vegas or where the hell I play it. I don't want to do that. I'd wait to someone else. They're not going to sign anyone, especially in free agency, for long term until they're settled. So the answer to the question is they may have had the talent, but they don't have it the last several years, and they don't have it this year. So that's where we are. Now we'll go to a team that has all the talent, and that's Houston Astros. Mm-hmm. These guys are the real deal. I told you last year that the Astros would win the division, and you did. I mean, even though they were 8 and 9 games behind, they're just too good of a team, and they made it. Okay, Jordan Alvarez is their slugger. 35 homers, 86 RBIs. He hit 308. Fabulous all-around ball player. Alex Bregman, 26 homers, 75 RBIs, 260. Now, Bregman is a story here because Bregman did not re-sign with the Astros. He went to Boston. Huge deal. $25 million a year for 4 years or something like that. Got Kyle Tucker, 23 homers, 49 RBIs at 289. Jose Altuve makes the whole team go. 20 homers, 65 RBI at 295. You got Yardier Diaz, 16 homers, 84 RBI at 299. That's where Houston is dangerous. They hit the hell out of the ball. Even without Bregman, they're still going to have a big team. But last year, there was an 88 and 73, and they win their division. Let's go to pitching. You got Hunter Brown was 11 and 9, 3.49 ERA. Spencer Alleghetti, 7 and 13, 4.53. Framber Valdez, one of my favorite pitchers, 15 and 7, 2.91 ERA.
Yeah.
Rafael Blanco, 13 and 6, 2.80. And Josh Hader, we know him from the Brewers. He was 8 and 8, 3.80 ERA. He had 34 saves. Now, the Astros are built to win every year. Well, let's go see what happens after the acquisitions. They have no free agents at all. Their notable acquisitions are this. First baseman Crispin Walker signed a 3-year deal. Third baseman Isaac Paredes got a trade with the Cubs. Going to be a good third baseman. He's the one that's going to take Bregman's place at third base. Right-handed pitcher Hayden Westner, trade with the Cubs. Outfielder Ben Gamble re-signed on a 1-year deal. Second baseman Brendan Rodgers signed on a cheap major league deal. The big key here is the acquisitions is Paredes. He's the one that they wanted for third base the last couple of years because they weren't going to re-sign Bregman. Bregman made that clear. He didn't want to play for them anymore. So they made a good deal. He got to be a free agent after last year, and he signed a huge contract with the Boston Red Sox. Now here's your subtractions. Outfielder Kyle Tucker, all-around good ball player. He goes with the Cubs. Why couldn't they sign him? I don't understand. Alex Bregman, you heard me describe, he's going to the Red Sox. Mm-hmm. Left-handed pitcher Yusei Kikuchi went with the Angels. Right-handed pitcher Justin Verlander, who was another Hall of Famer, couldn't come up to his standards last year, signs with the Giants. Right-handed pitcher Ryan Presley, a trade with the Cubs. Left-handed pitcher Caleb Ferguson goes to the Pirates. Outfielder Jason Hayward goes to the Padres. Hayward is on the end of his career from last year and the Astros last year and the Braves for several years. Right-handed pitcher Kendall Graveman went to the D-backs. Right-handed pitcher Jose Guido went to the Tigers. That's an awful lot of subtractions that they have to make up, especially Verlander. Now, Verlander is obviously in the twilight of his career.
Yeah.
He's a 3-time Cy Young Award winner. He's a fabulous pitcher. I don't know if he's got anything left in the tank, but they're probably going to miss him because of his stability, and the younger players looked up to him. They say, well, listen, I want to watch Justin warm up in the bullpen, and I want to do this, I want to do that. Well, he's not going to be there now. So where are you now? I mean, they don't sign anyone except for Paredes. It's going to play third baseman. They still have a powerful lineup with Alvarez, Tucker, Altuve, and Diaz. Those are the guys that are going to make things go. Home runs and RBIs. They hit well. They're going to need to be pitching, though. Right now, Valdez is their leader in the clubhouse, 15-7, 2.91 ERA. He's the one they're going to rely on. And, of course, Josh Hader, who has had a rough couple of years, he's still dangerous. 3.80 ERA, 34 saves. Hader is not who he was when he was with Milwaukee. He was unhittable when he was in Milwaukee. And he hasn't, for some reason, he hasn't blossomed here. If I had the chance to go to the Astros behind those hitters, I'd love to pitch for them. But he hasn't come through. So there's no acquisitions. They lose a whole bunch of good players. They lose Ducker and Bregman, Kikuchi and Verlander. And they don't have anything left. So they're going to have to rely on who they have now, who they relied on last year. Those 4 guys I mentioned. And pitching is going to have to come up. So what I'm saying now is this is a good time for the Astros to go through their minor league system, look and see who's pitching and hitting well in the Grapefruit League, and hopefully when exhibition season's over with, they have a strong lineup. I believe that this team is strong enough right now to win their division.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, and you look at winning this division. They only sent one team from the AL West to the postseason last year. It was Houston, and the team that you're discussing right now, everybody else got eliminated, and the Houston Astros got by with an 88-73 record. And the question now becomes, who are these Houston Astros as we step forward? Is anybody going to threaten them? We talked about the Rangers and the Athletics and the Angels and the Mariners, and you said the Mariners have an outside shot at winning the division, but Seattle led at some point last year, Texas led at some point, then Houston took over. You said at the beginning of the season, I don't care what anything says, at the end of the year, Houston's going to be at the top, and you're 100% right. So Houston, the only team to make it out of the West. We're going to take a step aside on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. When we come back, we're going to look at a division that sent more than half of their teams to the postseason last year. The Cleveland Guardians, the Kansas City Royals, and the Detroit Tigers all made it to the postseason with 86 wins or more out of the AL Central. The 2 teams that didn't make it, the Minnesota Twins and the Chicago White Sox. We'll talk about this division when we come back on Wake Up Call as we preview the entire Major League Baseball season with Papa Joe. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where He just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Brian's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business. I had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees. And as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there was something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There was a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really change the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allowing customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servomation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machines, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean to cup coffee machines. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I can tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I appreciate you being here, hanging out with us inside of the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City is where I get my vehicle. I've been getting my vehicles there for over a decade, and I suggest that you go there. I trust them. I trust the Honda product first and foremost. And then on top of that, I love my Honda CR-V. My dad has a Ridgeline. We've had a Pilot before. I've had a Civic before. I've been in an Accord. So I've gotten to be around the world of Honda, and I'll tell you, new and used vehicles, Great Lakes Honda City, that is the only place that I go. It's the only place I'd tell you to go. And I definitely appreciate our work together for over a decade and their partnership with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and now being our exclusive studio partner. So much love and much respect to Great Lakes Honda City. PJ and I are here, picture in picture, previewing the entire Major League Baseball season, and we've given you all of the National League, and we've given you a piece of the American League, the AL West. Now we're going to the AL Central, where 3 out of 5 teams, like I said before the break, made it to the postseason last year. The Cleveland Guardians led the way, followed by the Kansas City Royals and the Detroit Tigers. The 2 teams not to make it, the Minnesota Twins and the Chicago White Sox, that decided it was their year to make Oakland look good, as they were the worst team in baseball with 41 wins and 121 losses. So, PJ, I give it up to you and ask your thoughts on where you would like to start the AL Central, and if you'd like to start it with the Chicago White Sox. That's up to you.
Oh, The White Sox are awful, Daniel. I think I'll keep them till last. Let's talk about the good teams, the real good teams.
Yeah.
The Cleveland won the division last year. We're 92-69. They're led by Jose Ramirez, 39 RBIs, 118 RBIs, hit 279. Every year, Ramirez is mentioned in the most valuable player, and he should be in the conversation every year. He hasn't won one yet, but that's not his fault. We got the Naylor brothers. Josh Naylor hit 31 homers, 108 RBIs, hit 243. His brother, Bo Naylor, 13 homers, 39 RBIs, hit only 201. Then we got Dave Fry, hit 14 homers, 51 RBIs, hit 263. And Steve Kwan, 14 homers, 44 RBIs, and 292. Kwan was in my talks just about weekly hitting, but he went on a major slump at the end of the year. But this is where Cleveland is. They're a big bopping team, and they got some decent hit pitching too. Let's talk about Tanner Beebe, who's 12-8, 3.47 ERA. Ben Lively was 13-10, 3.81 ERA. Cade Smith, 6-1, 1.91 ERA. Good spot starter this guy was. Logan Allen, 8-5, 5.73 ERA. And the incomparable Emmanuel Class as their closer, 4-2, 0.61. You heard me. Yeah. 0.061 ERA. Yeah. 47 saves. Probably the best pitcher in American League last year. Now, how do you top this? How do you top these guys? Well, let's go see what they've done. Catcher Austin Hedges re-signed for a 1-year deal with them. Right-handed pitcher Shane Bieber re-signed with a 1-year deal. First baseman Carlos Santana, 1-year deal. Right-handed pitcher Paul Seward, 1-year deal. Left-handed pitcher John Means, a 1-year deal. Right-handed pitcher Luis Ortiz, 3-team trade with the Pirates and the Blue Jays. Right-handed pitcher Jacob Junis on a 1-year deal. And right-handed pitcher Slade Pecan trade with the Diamondbacks. I don't like to see all these 1-year deals there. Yeah. That's what I don't like to see.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened to the subtractions. Left-handed pitcher Matthew Boyd went to the Cubs. Right-handed pitcher Alex Cobb went to the Tigers. Cobb used to be with the Tampa Bay. Second baseman Andres Gimenez, trade with the Blue Jays. Right-handed pitcher Nick Sandlin, 3-team trades with the Pirates and the Blue Jays. Right-hand pitcher Eli Morgan, trade with the Cubs. First baseman Josh Naylor, one of the Naylor brothers, trade with the Diamondbacks. Outfielder Miles Straw, trade with the Blue Jays. Now, where does that leave us now? Yeah. It leaves us with they're missing some guys. They're missing some hitters. They're missing some pitchers. But this is Cleveland, and as long as Emmanuel Clase can lace it up and save games, he's going to have over 40 saves a year. His ERA is microscopic.
Yeah.
If you're in the 7th and 8th and 9th innings, you hand the ball to Emmanuel Clase and he wins the game. Now, the acquisitions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of these guys acquisitions on a 1-year deal. Again, you're giving these guys a cup of coffee. If they work out, fine. If they don't, toss them down in the minor leagues. Subtractions, they lost Alex Cobb, which was a frontline pitcher. But other than that, Josh Naylor was a big hitter, 31 homers, 108 RBIs, hit 243. Now they lose him to the Diamondbacks, which your Diamondbacks are going to look good with him there. So I think the team is still strong enough to win our division if they can get by Kansas City, which is my next team. And the subtractions are not that bad. This is a good time for, again, everyone is going through the evaluation process of their young players coming up, letting them play in the spring league, and see if there's anyone they want to stick around. Remember, these Major League roster is only 25 or 26 players, and half of those are pitchers. So you got to be a real good player to make us be a position player in order to make it in the major leagues.
Yeah, and you mentioned Josh Naylor, right? And Christian Walker left the Diamondbacks, went on a 3-year, $60 million deal to the Houston Astros. The Diamondbacks filled that spot by getting first baseman Josh Naylor traded to the Diamondbacks from the Guardians. Going back to that for a second here, and the trade details: the Diamondbacks acquired first baseman Josh Naylor. The Guardians acquired right-handed pitcher Slade Ciccone, as well as competitive balance round B draft pick. So that's they got a player, and then they got something in connection to the Major League Baseball draft. So, Josh Naylor leaving this team to stick with the Guardians here. How good do you feel about the Guardians? Are they contenders or are they pretenders? Because they went into the postseason last year, and the question was, are they going to be a threat? Are they going to be a threat to the Yankees? Are they going to be a threat to, any other team in the American League when it gets down to the nitty-gritty and it gets down to, who's going to grind it out in a short series, who's going to grind it out in a mid-series, who's going to grind it out in a 7-game series? Are the Guardians the real deal? Do they have enough with the additions and subtractions that they have?
No, they're the real deal. They'll be competitive because of Jose Ramirez. He's going to be driving in most of their runs. They won 92 games last year, which is awful good in that division. Their pitching is strong enough to hold up. So I do believe that they will be a substantial part of this league. Now the next team is my favorite team in this division is the Kansas City Royals. Now these guys have it all. However, last year they were on 86 and 76, and I was trumping them all summer long, and they couldn't get it quite done. There's a reason for that. Probably pitching, and I'll get to it. But it's not pitching. It's hitting. Let's look at what they did last year. All-American Bobby Witt, 32 homers, 109 RBIs, hit .332. Witt very, very closely almost won the most valuable player from Aaron Judge, and he should be able to do just as well this year. Although yesterday he got hit by a pitch on his hand, and they're going to check it out to see if he broke any fingers in there. Not something you want to see when you're playing in a Grapefruit League. Sal Perez, their catcher, 27 homers, 104 RBIs, hit .271. Vinny Pasquanino, one of our guys, David, 19 homers, 97 RBIs, hit .262. Hunter Renfroe, 15 homers, 52 RBIs, and .229 average. MJ McClendon hit 17 homers, 44 RBIs, hit .206. Now those hitters last year are going to carry him this year too. Let's look at the pitching. Last year, Cole Ragans was 11-9, 3.14 ERA. Seth Lugo, 16-9, 3.00 ERA. I mentioned him last year every week just about on the broadcast because he was pitching so well. He tailed off a little bit at the end, but then your arms get tired and, you don't have it. Brady Singer, go Gators, 9-13, 3.71 ERA. Mike Wacha, 13-8, 3.25 ERA. James McArthur, I beg your pardon, 5-7, 4.92 ERA, 18 saves. Now, James McArthur, you're not going to be saving many games if you have almost a 5-point ERA. That's not going to work. Now let's look at what happens in the offseason. They still have 2 free agents on their roster. Robbie Grossman is an outfielder, left-handed pitcher Will Smith. Here's the acquisitions. Jonathan India, go Gators. Trade with the Red Sox, or Red Legs, I beg your pardon, Cincinnati. Right-handed pitcher Carlos Estevez, they got him on a 2-year deal. Right-handed pitcher Michael Lorenzen, re-signed on a 1-year deal. Outfielder Joey Weimer, trade with the Reds. Subtractions, right-handed pitcher Brady Singers, go Gators, gone, went to the Reds. Second baseman Adam Frazier, Pirates. Outfielder Tommy Fant went to the Pirates. Infielder Paul DeJong went to the Nationals. First baseman Yul Gurriel went to the Padres. There's some serious subtractions here that are going to cause Kansas City a lot of problems. That's for sure. They didn't acquire anyone other than India, who plays a strong shortstop, to add anything to the lineup. But losing Singer, Frazier, Pham, DeJong, and Gurriel, those are major, major players.
Yeah.
Kansas City's going to be hurt because of this.
Yeah, so, I mean, when you look at the Kansas City Royals and you look at who they are right now, I mean, like you said, taking those losses, it hurts. But the Royals, when we look at this 2025 roster, do you feel good? I mean, this was a team where, you and I thought they could make a push. And I mean, they made it to the postseason, but I was sitting here saying like maybe they could win the division. Where are they now? Are they in a place where you feel good? Are they in a place where you're concerned for them? Because we look at this team and Bobby Witt Jr. and how Bobby Witt's come up, and I mean this dude is what, not even 25 years old. He's still 24 because his birthday's on June 14th. So, I mean, the Bobby Witt Jr. show, do the Kansas City Royals become a team where we got a Bobby Witt Jr. superstar and people love to watch him, but the team as a whole suffers? What do you see?
I love Kansas City. I'm going to like them this year right off the bat. Bobby Witt, Sal Perez, and Vinny Pasquantino averaged 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. Those are the first three guys in the lineup, and they're badass. They can carry a team. They can carry a team. Pitching, they got Raggins, Lugo, Singer. They lost. Michael Watch is still there. This team shouldn't skip a beat, Daniel.
Yeah.
They should be strong from the get-go. And next week, I think I'll be able to sit down and evaluate these teams after most of the preseason is out of the way. Let's go to the other team that made a playoff too, the Detroit Tigers. I got to find a piece of paper now. Tigers. No, it's the Twins. Tigers. Starting at another tablet, Daniel. This one's not quite as used as the other one. I had Detroit Tigers.
Yeah.
Last year, Riley Green hit 24 homers, 74 RBIs, hit 262. Kerry Carpenter, 18 homers, 57 RBIs, hit 284. Matt Wheeling, 16 homers, 57 RBIs, hit 257. Cole Keith, 13 homers and 51 RBIs. Jake Rogers hit 10 homers, 36 RBIs. Last year, their record was 86 and 76. They're not going to go very far with those kind of hitters. Let's look at the pitching. Cy Young Award winner Tarek Skubal is 18 and 4, 2.39 ERA. Every fifth day, this guy's going to come out on the mound, and he gives you a chance to win every fifth day. Jack Flaherty used to be with the Arizona, 7 and 5, 2.95 ERA. Reed Olson, 4 and 8, 3.53 ERA. Ken Medea, 3 and 7, 6.09 ERA. And Jason Finley was 3 and 6, 3.15 ERA at 28 saves. Now let's see how they did in the offseason. They have no free agents left on their roster. Let's see who they picked up. Jack Flaherty, which I love. They got him on a 2-year deal. Gleyber Torres used to be with the Yankees, second baseman, on a 1-year deal. Right-handed pitcher Alex Cobb. He's bounced around a little bit, but he's still a strong pitcher, 1-year deal. Right-hand pitcher Tommy Kahle, 1-year deal. Right-handed pitcher John Bibia, 1-year deal. Right-handed pitcher Jose Equidi, 1-year deal.
Yeah.
And left-handed pitcher Andre Chapin, the major league deal cheapo. Subtractions, they lost one guy. Right-handed pitcher Alex Fredo. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. Now, the acquisitions they got, especially with Flaherty and Torres and Urquidy, this is a team that's built to win now. They still got the hitters, and they still got the pitchers, Tarek Skubal especially. This is a real dangerous team, Daniel. This division, I've always harped about the Central divisions being nothing. Mm-hmm. And I'm justified in saying that because up until last year, they never excelled. Now, all of a sudden, 3 of them are there, and all 3 of them are strong enough to win a division. This division, frankly, could be a Super Bowl, a World Series contender out of one of these 3 teams. That's how strong they are.
Well, and when you look at the Detroit Tigers, last year in a 3-game series, they beat the favorite Astros 2-0. Then they went into a series with the Cleveland Guardians, who were the 2 seed, and facing off against the Cleveland Guardians, they brought them all the way to the 5th game of a 5-game series, and Cleveland won it 3-2. So if that's what Detroit did last year, I know you said you feel good about them, you feel like they're dangerous, But if that's what they did last year, if last year they shut out the Astros, knocked them out of the playoffs, then made Cleveland give everything they possibly could to prevent Detroit. Detroit's like, hey, if we're not going to win, you're going to have to beat us in the end of the series. So if that's how hard they fought back then, last season in 2024, then in 2025, are the Tigers going to claw their way further?
I do believe so, but the problem I have with the Tigers is their hitting.
Okay.
They weren't consistent last year. They didn't have anyone who really knocked in a lot of runs or hit a lot of homers.
Yeah.
And they tried to address that by getting Gleyber Torres, who is a sensational player. The rest of these guys, not much. Pitching is what's going to take them further with Skubal, Flaherty, and Olsen. Those are the guys, and the Finley, their closer, 28 saves. Those are the guys that are going to carry Detroit. They're not strong enough offense-wise. They're not strong enough with their acquisitions, and they're not strong enough with their current roster. Not in the least bit. I look for Detroit to be competitive, strictly on pitching. And if they find some young kid who's knocking the hell out of the ball during the preseason, then they'll probably put him on the roster. Not much to talk about after that, Daniel.
Well,
now we go to the.
Well, I mean, you say there's not much to talk about, PJ, but I know how desperately and how excited you are to discuss the Twins and the White Sox.
Oh yeah, well, absolutely. I love it. Well, the Twins are not that bad.
Yeah.
They were 82-80 last year.
Yeah.
They just got stuck in a real tough position in their division. It's just awesome. Last year, Carlos Santana hit 23 homers, 71 RBIs. Ryan Jeffers hit 21 homers, 64 RBIs. Byron Buxton, 18 and 56, hit 279. Byron is supposed to be another one of these players. Is supposed to be another next Barry Bonds. For 3 years, he's done nothing. And I think during the preseason, he's not doing nothing. Will Castro, 12 homers, 60 RBIs, hit 247. And Carlos Correa, who's their main player, 14 homers, 54 RBIs, hit 310. They're not going anywhere with these hitters either, but let's go to the pitching, and then we'll go to acquisitions. Pablo Lopez was 15-10, 4.08 ERA. Barley Ober, 12-9, 3.98 ERA.
Yeah.
Joe Ryan, 7-7, 3.60. Cole Sands, 9-1, 3.28 ERA. Good spot starter there. And Johan Duran was 6-9, 3.64 ERA, and he had 23 saves. The Twins, they're not going to win with that lineup. I mean, they need to score more runs. They got a good pitching staff, not a great pitching staff, but a good pitching staff. Let's see what happens. They still have one free agent on their roster. That's right-handed pitcher Anthony DeScalfani, another one of our boys, Daniel.
That's right.
Notable acquisition. Outfielder Harrison Bader, go Gators.
Yes.
Signed him on a 1-year deal. First baseman Ty France on a 1-year deal. Left-handed pitcher Danny Colombo on a 1-year deal. Now, those three guys added to the offense is not going to give them much. Subtractions, they lost infielder Kyle Farmer to the Rockies. They lost Max Kepler, an outfielder, to the Phillies. Carlos Santana's a first baseman. They lost to the Guardians. That's going to hurt them right there. Left-handed pitcher Caleb Theodore went to the Cubs. Left-handed pitcher Giovanni Moran traded with the Red Sox. They lost Kepler and Santana, which were big bats for them. Their acquisition, Bader can play every day in center field. He's bounced around a little bit too. I don't understand that. He was at the Yankees. He was hitting over 280. He steals bases. He plays a solid center field. And for some reason, they gave up on him. So Minnesota is not going to go very far with this particular lineup. Their pitching is going to carry them. But they have, they've lost a couple of left-handed pitchers, Thebar and Moran. So let's see what they have during the preseason. Next week, I should have a good list on them. As other than that, Daniel, the Twins aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, and when you think about the Twins, I go back to the first baseball game that I ever saw in person in Major League Baseball when I was a kid, and my parents took me to Toronto, and we saw the Toronto Blue Jays face off against the Minnesota Twins, and I had the opportunity back then when we talk about like the best Twins in MLB history, right? The ones that stick out to us the most, the ones that the best Minnesota Twins of all time. And when I was a kid, I got to go out and see Kirby Puckett play for the Twins. Now, the Blue Jays had a really good game, but Kirby Puckett was there. And I just, I think about, that's what, when you think about the Minnesota Twins, for me personally, I think about Kirby Puckett. Is there anyone on the team right now, if he was the face of the franchise back then, is there anybody on the team right now for Minnesota that you think could be the face of the franchise?
No.
All right, on to the Chicago White Sox.
Okay, let's go. Let's go to my favorite team, Daniel, the Chicago White Sox. Oh, geez. Right. I mean, I shouldn't even talk about these guys. Last year, folks, they were 41 and 121.
Yes.
That's right. They lost 121 games. Daniel so eloquently said earlier in their broadcast. My goodness. All right, they got Anthony DiBenedetto, 20 homers, 64 RBIs, hit 229. Alex Vargas, 19 homers, 70 RBIs, hit 246. Luis Robert, 14 homers, 35 RBIs, 224. Corey Lee, 12 homers, 37 RBIs, he had 210. Gavin Sheets, 10 homers, 45 RBIs, 233. Folks, that is the best of their offense right there. That's how bad this team is. Now, Robert really should be in everyone's trade talks this year. He's floundered with them. He's a hell of a player. I don't know why the White Sox can't get 2 or 3 players for him, but he's saddled with them now. We'll see what happens. The White Sox, oh boy. All right, pitching. Garrett Crochet, 6-12, 3.58 ERA. He was their best pitcher at 6-12. That's how bad these guys are. Chris Blevins, 3-3 and 15, 4.95 ERA. 15 losses. John Cannon, 5-10, 4.49. There's just nothing to talk about with White Sox at all.
Yeah.
They have one free agent left on their roster, and that's Dominic Leone, a right-handed pitcher. Their acquisitions. Let's see how good they did. Left-handed pitcher Martin Perez. That's a good one there.
Yeah.
Outfielder Austin Slater on a 1-year deal. Outfielder Mike Talkman, a 1-year deal. Right-handed pitcher Bryce Wilson, 1-year deal. Third baseman Josh Rojas, 1-year deal. Outfielder Micah Taylor, a 1-year deal. Left-handed pitcher Tyler Gilbert. They got a trade for the Phillies. And catcher Matt Theus, a trade with the Cubs. Those are the acquisitions. Not bad. But again, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1-year deals. Where are they going with 6 1-year deals? Subtractions. They lose Garrett Crochet, their best pitcher. They lose him to the Red Sox. Right-handed pitcher Michael Soroka, he lost to the Nationals. And third baseman Yohan Moncada to the Angels. Daniel, this is, if it's possible to lose more than 121 games, it's possible this year with Chicago. They're awful. Awful.
How about those words? If it's possible to lose more than you've already lost, Chicago will do it. That's what PJ just said. So with that being said, we ran through the AL Central. Sounds like those 3 teams that made it to the postseason got a shot of fighting each other. Hey, if these teams keep going, if the AL Central continues to give us at least 3 teams that are vying and jarring and sparring with each other, this could be fun for not just this upcoming season, but for many seasons to come. Jerry loved that thing when I asked PJ, does the Minnesota Twins, do they have a face of the franchise? And PJ said his emphatic, his clear, and his signature, no. So we'll take a step aside for a fast break inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. We will be back right after this. PJ and I have one more division in baseball And we've done them all after that. The AL East comes up next. What do we have to say about the Yankees? Did they do anything in the offseason to respond to the Dodgers and the teams of the American League? Is anybody going to vie with them? And in the National League, do they have enough to go up against the best of the best? Do they have enough to go up against a Mets team that's bolstered up their team? Do they have enough to go up against the Dodgers that somehow found a way to spend more money? I thought that California was broke. Well, apparently if the Dodgers donated like a 32nd of the amount of money that they have on payroll, they could pay off California's financial debt as a state.
That's right.
The Yankees,
That's right.
the Orioles, the Red Sox, the Rays, and the Jays. We'll talk about all of them right after this, including them Tampa Bay Rays that are right down in the great state of Florida. And, of course, I've been on site on location and covered them. I continue to pray for everybody down in Tampa and in all the areas affected by any storms, that you are safe, that you are sound, that you are healthy, that you are free and good, and you have all the necessities to have a good life and a strong life and a life that is wellness in all ways. I pray and I hope for Tropicana Field and everything in that situation, and that the Tampa Bay Rays will be well and will stay well, and that the people of Tampa and St. Pete and all of that area, including any area affected by any storms or anything, wildfires and whatnot, my prayers and my well wishes are with you in Jesus' most precious name. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. We'll take a step aside. Yankees, Orioles, Red Sox, Rays, and Jays. Right after this, inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. I got PJ amped up. I didn't know the Chicago White Sox were going to make him that nasty. But he's nasty this morning. So is he going to throw a nasty curveball in the American League East? We'll find out after this.
That's good. That's some good teams here.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's MyAvicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We are hanging out inside of the Great Lakes Honda City studios, and you just heard from Great Lakes Honda City as we are here this morning reminding you to get your tail out to 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York for your next ride. New and used vehicles of all different shapes and sizes for the individual, for the family, for those road trips, for the snow, for the nice weather. There's all those things at Great Lakes Honda City, and I implore you to go over there. Let them know that you know me. Say, DT sent me over here. What's going on? Where are the cars at? So go there and see the cars, have some fun. The 2025 CRV, which I have, my very sleek and beautiful indoor and outdoor all black. I love it so very much. I have the leather interior with the sunroof and the whole new look of the front of the Honda CRV. You know, it's a really nice vehicle. And when I come outside and I look at it, woo! I give it a little spunk. So I feel it. I like it. I enjoy it. Honda CRVs I have loved for a very long time. This one's got a look. It's got a look, got a little flavor, got a little personality. And so I appreciate the designers and Great Lakes Honda City for bringing it home to us. Go and see them Monday through Saturday for sales and service. And if you want a sneak peek of what they have in their inventory, go to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. I appreciate you for doing it. Me and Papa Joe are having a conversation right now, previewing the entire Major League Baseball season, and it's time to jump into the American League East, and I unleash Papa Joe on the division. PJ, where would you like to start? And take it away.
Well, I'm going to start with Baltimore,
Okay.
because I think they're a favorite, one of the favorites in this thing. Okay, last year They were 91-71, one of the better teams in baseball. Not quite up to the standards of the Yankees, but they're real close. However, they got some problems in their lineup. Last year, they were led by Anthony Santander with 44 homers, hit 102 RBIs, hit 235. Right, Steve Henderson was 37 homers, 92 RBIs, hit 281. Colton Cowser hit 24 homers, 69 RBIs, hit 242. And Adley Rushman, 19 homers, 79 RBIs, hit 250. You know, that hitting isn't enough to bring them through. But let's see what they did in pitching last year. Corbin Burns was 15-9, 2.92 ERA. They are going to lose Corbin Burns. This is monumental in what I'm talking about this year. But I'll get to that later. Gray Rodriguez, 13-4, 3.86 ERA. Dean Keimer, 8-10, 4.10 ERA. Anthony Suarez, 9-7, 3.70 ERA. And Cole Kimbrell, 7-5, 5.33 ERA. He saved 23 games. Obviously, they're outside of Corbin Burns is their problem. Let's see what happens. They have one free agent on the roster, and that's catcher James McCann. Notable acquisitions. They pick up outfielder Tyler O'Neill with a 3-year deal. Right-handed pitcher Tamuki Sogano on a 1-year deal. Catcher Gary Sanchez, 1-year deal, used to be with the Yankees. Right-handed pitcher Charlie Morton, 1-year deal. He was with Atlanta. Right-handed pitcher Andrew Kittredge on a 1-year deal. Outfielder Dylan Carson, 1-year deal. Outfielder Ramon Laureano on a 1-year deal. That's the acquisitions. Now, the subtractions are monumental. They lose the best pitcher in baseball, Corbin Burns, not losing to Daniels Razorbacks. And that's big. It's huge. It could put Arizona over the top. They lose Anthony Santander to the Blue Jays. That's 100 RBIs right there. DH Eli Jimenez, they lost to the Rays. Left-handed pitcher John Means, they lost to the Guardians. Outfielder Austin Slater to the White Sox. Oh, that poor guy. Left-handed pitcher Daniel Colombo, he lost to the Twins. Right-handed pitcher Jacob Webb, they lost to the Rangers. Now, there's some serious problems in Baltimore. I mean, they have a good team, period. But, losing Santander on the offensive side and losing Corbin Burns on the pitching side, that's serious. That's serious. So I don't see anything. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys on a 1-year deal on acquisitions. Again, they give them a cup of coffee. If they're good, they keep them. If they're not, they ship them out. That's the way they're doing it these days. If you don't sign a guy for 5 years for $100 million, you're not going to get any players. Yeah. And their subtractions are the monumental.
You are not right this morning. that was one of my absolute favorite moments. Just rattling off these guys' names and going, and the Orioles lost this guy to the White Sox. Oh, poor guy. So the Orioles have been pretenders, right? They used to be they went from the bottom of the barrel of the AL East to they were good in the first 15 games of a season, and then they would drop off and all of a sudden disappear, which is kind of what the Pittsburgh Pirates were last year. And then the Orioles started to win throughout the season, and then they started to make the playoffs, and then they got the number 1 seed, but they can't seem to get the monkey off their back. Can they get it off their back? Well, it's a 2-part question. Can they get the monkey off their back in the postseason, and can they do it without Corbin Burns?
They got some problems this year, Daniel, and one of them is losing Santander, which was a huge part of their offense, and losing the best pitcher in baseball, Corbin Burns. I don't think that the referee will be as good as last year, and there's probably a reason why, because the Yankees are a better team. Let's go right to the Yankees as we're talking. Last year, the Yankees were 94-68. They won the division, of course. They went all the way to the Super Bowl. Listen to me. World Series with the Dodgers. They're led by the incomparable Aaron Judge, 58 homers, 144 RBIs. He had 322. Are you kidding me? Now they had Juan Soto, 41 homers, 109 RBIs. He had 288. Stanton, I call him Mike Stanton. He calls himself Giancarlo. I like Mike better. 27 homers, 72 RBIs, hit 233. Gleyber Torres, there's that guy, 15 homers, 73 RBIs, 257. Anthony Volpe, a nice Italian kid from New Jersey, hit 12 homers, 60 RBIs, hit 243. He also stole 28 bases. Pitching wise, yeah, Carlos Rodon, 16 and 9, 3.96 ERA. Lewis Gill, 15 and 7, 3.50 ERA. Marcus Strollin, 10 and 9, 4.31 ERA. Garrett Cole, one of the best pitchers in baseball, 8 and 5, 3.41 ERA. And their closer is Clay Holmes, 3 and 5, 3.14 ERA at 30 saves. Now we'll go from there right to the acquisitions and deletions. However, they got free agents. They got 2 of them on their roster still. Anthony Rizzo, first baseman, and Alex Verdugo is an outfielder. Now, they got a shot at signing both of these guys, but they're really not needed. Let's find out. Acquisitions. Left-hander Max Fried, pitcher, 8-year deal, $225 million. You got him from the Atlanta Braves. That's really going to help big time.
Yeah.
Right-hander pitcher Devin Williams. They got a trade with the Brewers. The Brewers give away more players than anyone. Anyway, Williams took over for Hader when he left. Now someone's got to take over Williams over there, but we've already done that. Outfielder Cody Bellinger got trade with the Cubs. They got him. First baseman Paul Goldschmidt on a 1-year deal. Possible Hall of Fame player right there.
Yeah.
Right-hander pitcher John Lusaga resigned on a 1-year deal. They picked up Fernando Cruz on a trade with the Reds. Left-handed pitcher Tim Hill resigned a 1-year deal. Catcher Alex Jackson, they got on a trade with the Reds. Right-handed pitcher Carlos Carrasco on a 1-year deal. And left-handed pitcher Tyler Messick on a 1-year deal. A lot of 1-year deals in there, Daniel. Subtractions. Here's the big one. They lose Juan Soto. And, of course, he goes to the Mets.
Yeah.
Gleyber Torres, big part of their infielder for years. They lose him. Right-handed pitcher, closer with 30 saves. Clay Holmes, gone. Nasty Nestor Cortez, they lose to the Brewers. Right-handed pitcher Tommy Cannell goes to the Tigers. Third baseman John Birdie goes to the Cubs. Left-handed pitcher Tim Meza to the Pirates. Catcher Jose Trevino to the Reds. Right-handed pitcher Cody Patet, trade with the Cubs. That's some serious problems there, Daniel. And here's some of them. Today, he had surgery, Tommy John surgery. He's out for the year. Not only that, but half of next year. Forget about it. Lewis Gill, he's out for the year because he's got arm problems. Marcus Stroman, I don't know what they're going to do with that guy. Clay Holmes, you don't lose Clay Holmes with a 30 saves. You just can't make that up. So their subtractions alone are Soto, Torres, Holmes, Nasty Nestor Cortez, and you can't make up games like this. Their subtractions. Trevino is a catcher. The Yankees are going to have to be led by Aaron Judge, but Stanton is out now. He's out for a month, something to do with his elbow or something like that. He's a mess. I don't know why they even sign these older guys. If Aaron Judge can somehow put everyone on his huge 6'7" shoulders, they may be able to squeak into the playoffs. But right now, they're not going to make it because Gold and Gill are out, and so is Holmes. They're lost in the pitching. And their acquisitions, Cody Bellinger at first base or outfield. He's a good acquisition. He's a left-handed hitter. Got that short right field porch. Paul Goldschmidt can play first base, of course, too. He's going to be there for at least a year. He's a future Hall of Famer myself. I like those two right there. But other than that, they lost too much to make up.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this, and like you said, Garrett Cole, the ace for the Yankees, will miss the entire 2025 season due to Tommy John surgery, and because the recovery timeline is typically a minimum of a year, aka 12 months, his status for the start of 2026 is in question right now, which is awful. And then you also made mention of the fact that Giancarlo Stanton, quote unquote, severe elbow injuries. You know, that's something you have to look at. I'm looking at, and speaking of something to look at, I'm looking at the money for the Yankees right now. I'm looking at the payroll salary for 2025. Judge, 40 mil. Garrett Cole, 36 million, not going to play. Giancarlo Stanton, 32 million. Carlos Rodon, almost 28 million. Cody Bellinger, 25 million. Marcus Stroman, 18.5 million. DJ LeMahieu, 15 million. Max Fried, 14.5 million. Paul Goldschmidt, 12.5 million. Chisholm, almost $6 million. And so on and so forth. And what I'm realizing now is my taxes are so high in upstate New York because I'm paying for the Yankees' salaries.
Right. That's right. That's good. I like that. There are some areas. DJ LeMahieu, I don't know if he's going to play for the Yankees again. He can't seem to see LeMahieu and Stanton and these guys. They're reclamation projects. They're too old. And Stanton is supposed to. He looks like a weightlifter, for crying out loud, and he can't stay. He can't stay healthy. He's too muscle bound. I don't know what the problems with these guys are, but pitching is where it's going to be. And they lose Gill, Cole, and Clay Holmes. That's too much. That's too much. All right, let's go to the Boston Red Sox. Last year they were led by Tyler O'Neill, hit 31 homers, 61 RBIs, hit 241. Rafael Devers, who was a most valuable player candidate every year, 28 homers, 83 RBIs, hit 272. Jaron Duran, 21 homers, 75 RBIs, 285 average. Cedon Rofolo, 15 homers, 75 RBIs, 246. Connor Wong, 13 homers, 52 RBIs, hit 280. They were only 81 and 81 last year, but they can hit the hell out of the ball. Pitching-wise, you got Cantor Crawford, 9 and 16, 4.36 ERA. Nick Pivetta, 6 and 12, 4.14 ERA. Tanner Huck, 9 and 10, 3.12 ERA. Zach Kenley, 6 and 3, 3.93 ERA. And Kenley Jansen, 4 and 2, 3.29 ERA. Boston isn't going to go very far this year, period. I'm going to find out why, if I can. Does your screen work like this in the morning? Red Sox. All right. They have no free agents.
Yeah.
Acquisitions. Garrett Crochet, left-handed pitcher from the White Sox. This is big. This is big. Last year, after the trade deadline on July 5th, every week I always mentioned Crochet was going to be part of a trade. He never was, but now they got him for this year at least. Third baseman Alex Bregman, you've heard me talk about him from Houston. They got him on a 3-year deal, $25 million a year. Right-handed pitcher Walker Buehler from the Dodgers, they signed on a 1-year deal. That hurts. Left-handed pitcher Patrick Sandoval on a 2-year deal. Left-handed pitcher Aroldis Chapman, 1-year deal. He's on the end of his career, but he still throws 100 miles an hour. Left-handed pitcher Justin Wilson on a 1-year deal. Left-handed pitcher Giovanni Moran, trade with the Twins. Carlos Narvaez, the catcher, trade with the Yankees. Right-handed pitcher Adam Octavio got a cheap Major League deal. Left-handed pitcher Matt Moore on the same cheap Major League deal. Now, who do they lose? They lose Tyler O'Neill to the Orioles.
Yeah.
Too good of a player to lose. Right-handed pitcher Kenley Jansen, who was a good closer. He's on the end of his career, but anyway, he goes to the Angels. Catcher Danny Jensen got loose to the Rays. Right-handed pitcher Chris Martin to the Rangers. Right-handed pitcher Nick Pivetta to the Padres. They didn't need to lose him. Right-handed pitcher Lucas Sims to the Nationals. Boston has some serious troubles. They got too many. They don't have enough batters, and they don't have enough pitchers. But I think that they're good enough to be a 500 record. This division is going to be very difficult. They're going to be hard pressed to even play with Baltimore and New York. This is going to be tough for them. But getting Bregman is huge. And Walker Buehler, we saw him pitch for the Dodgers. He closed out the World Series. He comes over here, Boston, for $15 million. These are crazy numbers, but that's how it is in the American League East.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see how it goes here. I mean, Bregman, right off the bat, right off the rip in spring training, has shown some good stuff, right, for the Boston Red Sox. So there's that excitement that they already have here for bringing him in. On his first day of spring training, he went out and put himself out there and showed that. I mean, he's only 30. This is crazy. He's only 30 years old, and just seeing, you know, what he's been able to do in his time and in his history here. I mean, I'm looking at this. Bregman plays the way he expects to, not as the 308th best hitter in the sport as he was for the first 6 weeks of last season, but the 20th as he was the rest of the way. I mean, we look at a 3-year, $120 million deal, and you know, he came out and he got some hits in spring training early on, and there's hope. You said that they might be a 500 team. Last year they were exactly that. They were 81-81. So PJ is stating that he thinks that Boston Red Sox are not going to flatline, but they're going to kind of just stay on the line, so to speak. We got the Rays and the Jays. Do the Tampa Bay Rays have anybody on their team that's really good that eventually will get paid by somebody else? Because that's
I don't know, but I'm going to go to Toronto. I'm going to go to Toronto first because they're a better team.
So does Toronto have hope? Does Toronto have a chance? Does Toronto have something that makes you feel like they could maybe get above the Red Sox, get above the equator line? What do you think?
Yes, they do. They have enough.
Okay.
Last year they were 74-88. Certainly that's not their standards. They're a better team than that. They're led by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. of 30 homers, 103 RBIs. He had 323. Again, a perennial MVP candidate along with Judge and Jose Ramirez. This guy is the real deal and has been for years. George Springer hit 19 homers and 56 RBIs, but he only had 220. Dalton Varsho, 18 homers, 58 RBIs, another 214 hitter. Ernie Clemente, 12 homers, 51 RBIs, hit 263. Spencer Horwitz, 12 homers, 46 RBIs, hit 265. Other than Guerrero, none of these guys are averaging over a 250. Pitching wise, they have Chris Bassett, 10 and 14, 4.16 ERA. Ken Glausman, 14 and 11, 3.53 ERA. Jose Barrios, 60 and 11, 3.60 ERA. Brandon Francis, 8 and 5, 3.30 ERA. And Chad Green is their closer, 4 and 6, 3.21 ERA, saved 17 games. Now, that isn't a lot, let me tell you. Let's see if they picked up anything. Their acquisition, they got Anthony Santander. You've heard me talk about him from Buffalo. They lose. Toronto gets Santander, which is huge.
Yeah.
Right-handed pitcher Jeff Hoffman, and I got on a 3-year deal. Right-handed pitcher Yimi Garcia on a 2-year deal. Right-handed pitcher Max Scherzer on a 1-year deal. Another future Hall of Famer at the very end of his career, but could help this team. They pick up second baseman Andres Gimenez in a trade with the Guardians. Right-handed pitcher Nick Sandin, a 3-team trade with the Pirates and the Guardians. Left-handed pitcher to get Josh Walker, 1-year deal. Right-handed pitcher Dylan Tate, re-signed on a 1-year deal. And outfielder Miles Straw, a trade with the Guardians. Notice subtractions. Right-handed pitcher Jordan Romano, they lose him to the Phillies. First baseman Spencer Horwitz, 3-team trade with the Pirates and Guardians. Not a lot to talk about here, but they do pick up Santander, which is huge. And they do pick up Matt Scherzer, who is still capable of throwing in the mid-90s and throwing shutouts. So Toronto has a shot at it. I don't know if they'll win more than 75 games this year, but this is an iffy team at best, Daniel. An iffy team.
Yeah, and for the Blue Jays, it's just, to me, it's frustrating because they've had moments. They've had moments in history. Like Joe Carter, like I said, that first game that I went to was a Blue Jays game, and it was in the old Skydome. What I was bringing up with the Red Sox and Alex Bregman is that in his debut, he had a 2-run home run that was part of a 3-hit day for him in his spring training debut with the Red Sox. So I want to make sure I made that note. Final team, the Tampa Bay Rays, down in the great state of Florida. What do you have for them, PJ?
Well, Tampa last year was 80 and 82. It seems like every year they battle the big teams. They're a low budget team. We know that they're on the cheap every year. They try to steal guys, and if a guy blossomed out, they wind up trading him or losing him free agency. They don't play the game of baseball that well. But let's see what they got. They got Brandon Lowe hit 21 homers and 58 RBIs. He had 244. Jose Siri was 18 homers, 47 RBI, and he had 187 below the Mendoza line, for crying out loud. Yandy Diaz, 14 homers, 65 RBIs, hit 281. Josh Lowe, 10 homers, 34 RBIs, 247 average. John LaDuca, 6 homers, 31 RBIs, 217. That isn't a very heavy offensive team at all, Daniel, at all. Let's see pitching last year. Jay Bradley was 8 and 11 with a 4.11 ERA. Ryan Pierpont, 8 and 8, 3.60 ERA. Zach Little, 9 and 8 and 10, 3.68 ERA. Garrett Clevenger, 7 and 5, 3.75 ERA. And Pete Fairbanks, 3 and 3, 3.59 ERA. He saved 23 games. Now, that alone, their pitching staff should be able to carry them. Let's see what they did. They have no free agents left on it. Notable acquisitions. They got Ha Sung Kim, an infielder. They got him on a 2-year deal. Don't know anything about him. I'll have to look him up. They got catcher Danny Jansen. They got on a 1-year deal. Designated Eloy Jimenez on a cheap major league deal. Right-handed pitcher Alex Fredo trade with the Tigers. I mean, come on. Subtractions, they lose Siri, who, oh, by the way, was only hitting 187. Goodbye, Jose. Don't need you. Left-handed pitcher Jeffrey Springs, they trade with the Athletics. Outfielder Dylan Carson, they lose to the Orioles. Left-handed pitcher Tyler Alexander, they lose to the Brewers. What can I say, Daniel? They have no one on their rosters except for Lowe. They can hit the ball. 2 Lows, actually. Yeah. And pitching-wise, they're good. They're not great. They're not bad. They're good. But you're in a division where you're playing against big money teams like the Yankees and Baltimore and Boston. Yeah. The big money teams are going to win out. But Daniel, Tampa will not go anywhere with this lineup, period.
And it's frustrating for Tampa fans, right? Because they've had so many good moments. I was a part of one of those moments. I was a part of when they were the first team to clinch a berth in the postseason, and I went down to the clubhouse and got sprayed by wine and beer, and everybody was having a great time, and Joe Madden was there and whatnot. And it was an awesome moment and such a wonderful time for me in my career and in general. So, you hope the Tampa Bay Rays could bounce back. They're 80 and 82 last year. You're hoping that they could do a little bit better, but is that going to be good enough? Here's the thing. The Yankees have injuries this season going into the season. So there are teams that can take advantage of that. If it's going to be a multi-bid AL East, this leaves the door open for the Tampa Bay Rays to see what they can do and to make some positive moves because of the fact that the Red Sox may be an equator team, because of the fact that, but you got to watch out for Bregman and company, and because of the fact that the Yankees are going through injuries and they don't have their ace. This is where Tampa Bay can start to do things. They're very smart when it comes to finding young guys, finding prospects, finding guys before other guys find those guys. That's what they're good at. And so if they can do that this year and get enough of those guys then we can have something special happening in Tampa, which I hope the best for, because I've had a history with the franchise, had a lot of time around them, and I want to see them do well, and I want to see Tampa and St. Pete, I want to see some positive for them, and to have a baseball season that they can be proud of and excited about. So with that being said, PJ and I wrap up our entire scope, 30 franchises. If anybody said, you don't cover Major League Baseball, you don't watch every week? I mean, come on now. So I did want to show PJ this, a Gem Mint PSA 10s, graded a perfect 10, Jackson Churio of the Brewers, a perfect grade of 10, and a perfect grade of 10 of a special refractor insert of Yamamoto of the Dodgers.
Oh boy. Yep.
So got some
You
good
got a couple
stuff.
of good ones there, buddy.
And my guy that they're talking about this morning, talking about his future, my guy, Mr. Brett Mother freaking Beatty. I got a bunch of really nice on-card autographs of Brett Beatty. Got him at a great price because it was when people were kind of losing some hope in Beatty. So I bought it. I snatched it up while I could, and happy that I did. So with that being said, we have brought you Major League Baseball. We appreciate your support as always. And Papa Joe, I thank you for everything that you do and for keeping places like Target and Walmart in business, because you're always buying pens and notebooks.
I think. Hope you feel better.
Thank you. I'll talk with you soon.
Right.
I love you. That coming from Papa Joe one more time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. We will take a very quick, fast break. And when we are saddled up here, we'll round out today's broadcast from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We appreciate you tremendously, and I thank you, as always, for watching and listening.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you at 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Get your way over to GG Cards and Breaks Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. What a fantastic place to go for all the people that we were talking about. They have every single Major League Baseball franchise, every single National Football League franchise, every single National Basketball Association franchise with their own box on the wall. Like, you can walk in there and be a fan. Jerry can walk in there as a Celtics fan, be taken care of. My buddy Johnny can walk in there as a Lions fan. They got a box for him. Right? No matter who you love, who you're a fan of, I can go in there and get my Diamondbacks, my Raptors, and my Jaguars in one place. There's no other place you could do that I know of. GG Cards and Breaks goes the extra mile. All these people that we talk about all throughout the year on the show, so many of them are right there at GG Cards and Breaks with autographs, with potential one-on-ones, with graded cards, with rookie cards, with so many awesome ways to stay connected to your team and your favorite players. You could be a big hit every day at GG Cards and Breaks. So get there. Let them know that DT sent you. Thank you to all my people that already went out. Appreciate you very much. Because I know that we all, we work hard for our money. And the fact that you give it back to the places that support us here on Wake Up Call means a lot to me. It shows that you trust me. And it shows that these wonderful businesses that I'm working with are doing right by you. So I appreciate that. I thank all of you. I thank the businesses. I thank the people in the community. I thank the people that travel to the community. I thank God above all. Much, much respect and love to everybody out here just working together to make us better in Central and Upstate New York. And GG Cards and Breaks is one of those wonderful places, local and small businesses. And you can see them today on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, and every Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, and on Sundays from 10 to 5. Here on Wake Up Call inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I want to thank you for tuning in on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. Jerry, I knew that when I mentioned, or when you said that you were not a fan of Joe, or that you had that Joe Carter with the angry face, I was like, it had to have been something with the Phillies, and it was. Joe Carter hit the home run to beat the Phillies in the World Series. So Joe Carter, obviously, that touched a little nerve today for my man Jerry. So sorry, Jerry. Happened a long time ago. Shake it off, right? Today's a new day. So thank you for watching and listening up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Of course, thanks to Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you got to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, on any one of these avenues, and you can subscribe and follow us for free. Big time thanks to our wonderful partner down in North Carolina, from New York to North Carolina, the Brooklyn Pickle in Southern Pines on 1788 Old Morganton Road, right down the street, less than 10 minutes from Pinehurst Golf Course. Go and play some awesome golf, and then go to Brooklyn Pickle, or go to Brooklyn Pickle before you play golf, or go to Brooklyn Pickle, sneak that sandwich onto the greens. Don't be letting anybody know I told you that, and eat some Brooklyn Pickle while you're out in the sun playing some golf that you love. 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Big time thanks to our team of partners in Central and Upstate New York: Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Servomation, Avicoli's Mon Paz, the snack capital of the world, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Mother's Cupboard, where I have my own sandwich, Carvel DeWitt, where I have my own sundae, Pizza Man, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Brian's Landing, and of course we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. You can find your Dolphins every Wednesday during Dolphin Time, exclusively on Wake Up Call, with student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. Go to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, and you can subscribe, you can follow, you can hit the notification bell, and of course, you can find our Lemoyne playlist. The Dolphins are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com and Fins Up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bobcats every single month with student athletes, coaches, and administration. We just had a Bobcat takeover with Brooke Parro, the new athletic director, and then we went with the Bobcats. I traveled on the bus with the team in practice, at team dinners, at team lunches, at team functions, at the award ceremony for the USCAA, on the sideline with the team, in the shoot-around with the team, under the basket, passing the ball to the team pregame and halftime, grabbing waters for the guys. I want to thank the Bobcats for letting me be a part of the family and giving me the experience of a lifetime. I know it didn't end the way we wanted it to, win-loss-wise, but I truly got to experience something that I never, ever thought I would, which is to be a part of a college basketball program. I was treated like a coach. I was treated like a part of the family. It's an amazing feeling, and I want to thank the Bobcats from the bottom of my heart and the top of my heart and the middle of my heart. So you can find the Bobcats by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And, of course, you can subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the BSC Syracuse playlist on our YouTube channel. Go to wakeupcalldt.com as well on the homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. And for more information, you can go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Binghamton Bearcats, Binghamton University, hanging out with us where sports meets life. The Bearcats come to you every Tuesday during Bearcat Time, and that is Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time worldwide with student athletes, coaches, and administration. We just got to talk with a champion on the broadcast, and that champion is Brevin Casella, who won the individual EIWA championship this season, and him and Corey Day of the Binghamton Bearcats wrestling program are going to the NCAAs to fight for the right to be named national champions, and I'm very excited for them. Don't miss a second of all of our broadcasts with the Bearcats by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Binghamton playlist that has our conversation with Corey Day as well as our conversations with Brevin Casella, including our most recent Bearcat Break Room celebrating Brevin's EIWA individual championship at 174 pounds. You will also find the Bearcats on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, I want to thank Papa Joe for his incredible expertise. I defer to him as the genius behind our baseball talk, and I love him dearly. Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, X at CallDT, Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. Go to Ma and Pa's for your snacks. March Madness is coming up, and I don't want you to be hungry. From the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, God bless. No stress. Do your best. Be well. Stay safe. And remember that you are enough, and you got this.